Our award winner for the practice differentiation is going to be joining us online. I mentioned earlier, this is really about setting yourself apart. But when I look at accountants' websites, they all say similar things. We're accountants and business advisors. We're different. We're proactive. We're forward thinking. And then they'll go and say, we do accounts, we do bookkeeping, we do payroll, etc. Practice differentiation is being different so that you're not compared on price. You're actually compared on value. You're emotionally connecting with people. And you're speaking exactly to the kind of client that you'd like to deal with going forward. And so our winner of this award, joining us on the screen here, is Amrat from ATP Accounting.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So sadly, I can't pass this over to you, Amrat, but I will place it on this.
I've picked it up.
Yeah, I'll place it on this chair so it's in a nice view for you. Before we start interviewing Amrat's actually won 2 awards. So what I'm going to do in this particular case is I'm going to talk through his second award. We'll put them next to each other, and then I will interview Amrat in one go about what he's been doing. So the second award that Amrat has won is called the Business Advisory Award. Now, I mentioned earlier, didn't I, that this is really about working more with your clients and helping them to free up their time, to get their lives back, to create a business that works much more for them on their terms, allowing them to take the holidays, maybe spend quality time with their husband, their wife, their kids, their parents, whatever it is that's important to them. Otherwise, just as is often the case, that the business just takes over their lives, doesn't it? So, Amrat, a huge second well done to you, Amrat, has also won this award as well. So maybe a second round of applause just by way of acknowledging that. Amrat, first of all, maybe you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Amrat Parshotam. My firm is ATP Accountant. We're based in Buckinghamshire, Amersham in Buckinghamshire. My previous life, I used to work as the FD for Versace Group, and when Mr. Versace was killed, it kind of left us in shock and limbo as to what the next steps for the group was going to be. The banks took over, fired all of the people at my level, so I had to rethink what my options were. At that point, I decided I had enough of working for other people. I'll set up my own practice, which I had been running on a part-time basis, and I was unsure as to how I was going to move that forward. The problem being that after having a steady income, you suddenly find yourself chasing money because you have bills to pay, you've got children to feed, So essentially, that's how I started taking any and every client that walked through the door.
Thank you for that, Amrat. Now, obviously, you've introduced yourself. You've shared a few challenges, but I'm sure there's maybe a few more than that. So, in the spirit of both the Practice Differentiation Award and also maybe the wanting to deliver more value to the clients, maybe you could just tell us a little bit about what were some of the frustrations, the challenges, the concerns that you had in those early days before you started to make these changes?
Before I answer that one, when I got nominated by Andrew, and then actually having won these 2 awards, I was gobsmacked. I was as equally shocked, as equally wondered, was I the only person in this category winning the award? And that's why I got picked. I could not believe that I had won something for my firm. Coming back to the question, yes, there were lots of frustrations. When you pick up a client, you basically tell them what it's going to cost. The paperback clients were the worst clients you can get because they take up a lot of your time for little money. And some of them were just the one-off. And once you do the work, you do whatever you needed to do, then they walk away without paying you. So the frustrations were always, you felt really in a dark place. There was time, as my website says, same shit another day kind of syndrome. And you really did not want to wake up on a Monday morning. Every day seemed like a Monday morning, and you just did not want to get into the office. So I was in a very dark place because things that happened, and it meant that my family life started to suffer. my kids and my wife saw as a grumpy old git sitting in the corner, not having interaction with them, or he was always in a bad mood with them. But at that point, I found AVN. And with AVN, I found two people that got introduced me because of that. Andrew, who's got all the right, as I've told him, to kick my backside if I don't keep to the program. And I met Patrick of A Perfect Client, who helped me build my website, and we're developing a program.
Okay, so you had these challenges. Just tell us a little bit about what the steps that you've put in place. I know you've mentioned you joined AVN, you've worked with Patrick, and obviously you're supported here by Andrew, but just tell us a little bit about the steps that you've taken in order to overcome these challenges.
AVN used to have 2 sessions on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And every session used to start where you would ask, give us the wins of your week. And when people used to write, I've won a new client, I've won this, I got 2 more clients, I used to feel extremely jealous of them because I could never say that from my point of view. Then joining AVN, I was able to grade my clients with the help of the great stuff that AVN produces. I was able to then go to my existing clients. Because I got rid of the clients that I didn't want, I've got more time to spend with my clients. I was starting to phone them, ask them what their problems were. And with that in mind, I was able to help them a bit more. And whilst my background was in retail, somehow most of my clients are in the construction and related trades businesses. And the one thing I hear from them is they want to get off the tools. And it's the constant, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting tired. My back is aching. All these issues come to mind. And with that in mind, with Patrick, we build a website the way it is. It's a dark and gloomy website because I want what people feel at that point to look at that. It's about the client. I look at it from a client perspective rather than my perspective. I never claim to be a great accountant. Or I can do this, I can do that. Yes, that is part and parcel, but it's still trying to get the client to connect with me. And with Patrick, we've developed a cutting off the tools program, which is quite simple, easy, a 9-stage process to help them. I don't want them to give me too much information or feel that they're giving me information because they've already had a long, hard day on the job. So it's easy steps for them to take to get that information through. And then I can work it through.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. So what are some of the key results that you've started to see for yourself and for your clients as a result of these changes that you've been making?
The key is now I no longer chase money. I am now in a position where I can charge my clients. I mean, most of my clients, when I first joined and used the times out process, I virtually doubled my fees with them. And they were happy to pay me that fees. And not only that, but they understood that my work with Time's Up was only to do certain aspects of things. If they came in asking me for more information, means I can earn a little bit of extra, which they are happy to pay. And that has increased the level of fees that I earn. So what I've lost, I've recovered more than ample to make up for it. So I'm in a happier place. My kids now actually talk to me as a father, and my wife talks to me as a husband. So, we've come to that circle where we are in the right places. The mood is different. So, yeah.
Good. I'm very happy to hear that. Share with us, I mean, what does winning these two awards mean for you? And again, how will that maybe benefit you from a client perspective as well?
As I said, I am equally shocked, surprised, and really, really happy that I've won these 2 awards. I cannot tell you how moral boosting it's been for me. And I can share that with my clients. I have told a couple of clients that have spoken to me since I'm winning the award that I've actually won these 2 awards, and they were very happy with me. 90% of my clients become more than clients, they become friends. And I mean, people have told me that you cannot retire until I retire, because we will not have that. So they are quite happy I just can't express in words how I feel right now because I'm on such a high cloud nine at the moment. Not even a low cloud nine, but very high cloud nine. So I'm there right now.
Well, I'm thrilled to hear that. You still have a few extra. You've got 2 minutes. If there's anything else you'd like to add whilst we're speaking, if not, then we can finish.
At this point, we'll say good luck to the eventual winner. I hope the best person wins. I am at the place where I don't mind who wins it. So if somebody else wins it, great, because I know I've done 2 awards already, and I'm not going to be greedy to get it.
Fantastic. Well, let's give Amrat a massive round of applause. Thank you very much, Amrat. Well done to you.